Right then, Manchester derby time. Manchester United versus Manchester City. One of the biggest two games usually in the calendar for United. Why does it feel like I can't be asked? Why does it feel like we're just going to get pumped, aren't we? Been trying to do a starting 11 for this game, and going to be honest with you, the options are bleak, and the options aren't just bleak. I mean, you got to look into Klopp and Pep and the hilarity of Pep fucking moaning about winter breaks and things like that with the fucking depth of squad that he's got at his disposal. I think it's hilarious, but he is moaning about the winter breaks and the pressure on players of playing so many games and this, that and the other, and you think, do you know what? If you're moaning about it, how the hell are we where we are in this season so far? It's absolutely insane, isn't it? How we've just got the likes of Fred being absolutely running to the ground. Dan James has been running to the ground. You know, Tony Marshall's barely had a break, really. When he's been out, he's been with injuries. Harry Maguire supposedly tore his hip, playing every week. Lindelof picked up a knock, straight back in the team. Bay's been out for ages. Is he going to get any sort of minutes? It's insane, isn't it? It's absolutely insane. And you go, right, okay, there's a 2-goal deficit we need to overturn, and we've got to go to the Etihad to overturn a 2-goal deficit. Oh, now they've got Laporte back, so those defensive frailties that they might have had a few weeks ago, probably not fucking there anymore. And you go, Jesus, man. Almost couldn't forgive Ole. Could forgive Ole if he was like, bollocks. We got a better chance of doing something in the league. I'm going to give the lads a night off, or some of the lads a night off, because we don't have that much of a squad that you can even give a load of people a night off. Even if you rest everyone, Matic and Fred are probably still going to have to play. I don't think we've got anything like the squad we would need to be able to give people a little bit of time off. I really don't. So we're stuck with it, aren't we? We're stuck with going, right, well, I guess we're just going to have to roll the dice with what we've got, and we're going to have to play with what we can, and we're going to have to try and hopefully get a good result. But are we going to be even able to get a good result? Bottom and top line of it is, I don't even know if we can. Right, let's have a quick look at what we're looking at then. So 3-1 down, obviously, from the first leg. United's form going into this is win, loss, loss, win, win, loss. City's is win, win, draw, win, win, win. Obviously, no McTominay, Pogba or Rashford. There's no fresh injuries from Sunday's game. Martial and Maguire came off early, so definitely think they're going to be starting. Mata and James seemingly got rested, so I do think they'll probably feature. And Greenwood played the full 90, so I do think that he'll probably be at least off the bench against City on Wednesday. Fred probably going to be back in the starting lineup because no one else can. I think a change of shape could be on the cards. I think that was one of the reasons why we saw United play a back three. I think this is us getting some game minutes under our belt prior to going playing City. City news, Mahrez came off in the 53rd minute, so don't know if that's him out with a knock, possibly rested, or they was just being safe with him. João Cancelo has picked up a bit of an injury in the game against Fulham, and Gabriel Jesus obviously played and got a couple of goals, but he played the full 90 minutes, which means that someone like Sergio Aguero could come in and play. That's the depth of squad that we're just not dealing with, have we? Because if you go, all right, okay, so Mason and Tony Marshall played up front, right, who's on the bench then? Forwards. Nobody. So you can see why United seemingly in for another forward. It's pretty desperate at the moment. The last time that we trailed by 2 goals in a cup competition was Paris in the Champions League last season, which was pretty good. Quite enjoyed that a lot. Across this season, United and City have beaten each other once. We won 2-1 in the Premier League at the Etihad, and City won 3-1 in the first leg of the League Cup semi-final at Old Trafford. If United can get the first goal, then I do think we can make this interesting. I think it's highly unlikely that we're going to do enough to get the required number of goals and keep clean sheet or keep the goals to a minimum at the other end to be able to go through in this. I think the tie was effectively dead after the first leg. But I do hope we can try and maybe get a bit of pride out of this and maybe get a win or at least avoid defeat. With this squad, I think that's probably classed as a result. Let's have a look at my starting 11. So here's how I would go. And I do feel like the back three is probably going to be the best thing for us. I'm going to go with Baye. I'm not sure how they'll properly line up, but I'd be interested in seeing how it does. Baye, Lindelof and Maguire in a back three. Just giving us some more options, because if you look at how badly we got pressed in the home game, it was horrendous. So give us an extra man to be able to play around with a little bit. And both Matic and Fred are half decent, at least, at taking the ball under pressure. And obviously so is Juan Mata, to be able to try and play through this just a little bit. Brandon on the left and Wan-Bissaka on the right. Obviously Matic and Fred in midfield with Juan Mata in the number 10. Dan James and Tony Martial. And the reason for James over Greenwood is just pace. We saw in the game earlier in the season at the Etihad with Marcus Rashford's pace, we was able to cause them a lot of problems. I mean, Tony Martial's not exactly slow either. But there's an intensity to the way Marcus plays football that I love. There's an intensity to the way he presses, and there's an intensity to his overall game, especially in derby games. And it's that X factor that I think we're going to miss the most. Now, if this midfield two that was playing here was Paul Pogba, Scott McTominay, and maybe another number 10 that was in the mix there, I'd be quite confident going into this if we had Marcus Rashford up front. But the quality that we're missing right through the core of that team there just makes me think, like, it's grim going into this. If Ollie pulls something off here, masterclass. And I really think that Ollie has to pull something off here. He has to get some belief back into the fans, and he has to probably get some belief back into his own players that he can tactically outwit another manager. This is the perfect opportunity for him to do this, because going into this game, I bet City are like 10-1 on to win this game, or at least to progress. So there's absolutely no one thinking that United are going to go through in this. So this is the chance where a really good manager could do something. The nightmare is, I don't know if the team's even close to being good enough to do anything, even if he had the best laid plans ever. Even if Ollie was like, here's exactly what we're going to do. I don't know if this lot can pull it off. Love to be surprised. I would love to be surprised. Not sure I'm going to get surprised, to be honest with you. But that's what I think. I'm going to head over to the Patreon group and see what questions that we have got for the preview. But let us know what you think in terms of score prediction. Who's going to be the key player for the match? Because I think the key player for me has to be in this situation Juan Mata. I don't think there's anybody else outside of this team that's got the ability to be able to play those balls into the final third. And I think that's what Juan Mata brings. And that's why I put him in this channel. Even though we are definitely going to be counter-attacking in this game, I think that you still need someone that's got the quality in the final third to be able to put the ball in for somebody. That's what United have lacked. And in fact, if we talk about Erling Haaland's absolutely rasped it up in his first two games for Dortmund. In 59 minutes, he scored 5 goals. But 4 out of 5 of them goals have been one-touch finishes. So what does that tell you? That the balls are being played into the right areas and he's just passing it into the back of the net. He's had some excellent finishes, but the fact that 4 out of them 5 have been one-touch finishes. How many one-touch finishes can you remember from United players of late? They have to do more. They always have to do a little bit more. They always have to do a little bit extra. They always have to get their way through somewhere. Right, here's the questions from the Patreon group. Let's see what the crack is. Dean says, how's your head? Not got a headache. I'm just dead tired. And I'm talking utter bollocks as well. I mean, some people might go, no change there, but like I just feel like mashed potatoes. Delo on the right wing, what do I reckon? No, but I do think it's potentially an option. In this game especially, you play Wan-Bissaka and you totally nullify something that City have got out there. Do I think Gomez will be in the squad or is he off? I think his days are numbered, to be honest, with United. Where's the best place to go on the piss in the city? Everywhere. It's not that big a city centre in Manchester, to be honest. You can hit all like 3 or 4 different areas and you can have a good night in all of them. It's more about who you're with than where you go. Who's better, Tranmere or City, says Henry. I reckon it's probably City. Probably. Ash says, yesterday was much the same as the rest of the season, but long shots actually hit the target. How does Ollie get away from this without signings? Because let's face it, they aren't coming. It's starting to feel like there's no signings, isn't it? A little bit. I can't believe. If they don't back him, I'd tell Ollie to walk, but he's not going to, is he? Let's be honest. This is his dream job, and he's going to try and fight everything that he can to try and stay in his dream job, but they're fucking absolutely stitching him up if they don't give him any signings. It's scandalous. What do I think the impact will be of the clear singing in support of Ollie from the Tranmere game and the negative singing towards the board? I don't think the board was under any illusion that we fucking hate them. Really. I don't think the board was sitting there going, I bet they've all got posters of us at home, haven't they? Hopefully it means that, the fans haven't completely turned on Solskjaer, and we are well aware that the issues at this football club lie a lot further up. But it doesn't mean that they won't just chin him off to save their own faces. What do I think the key for us to cope with the pressure we're going to be under the next few weeks and months, and how bad can it get with more injuries? Jesus, if we lost Tony Martial and Aaron Maguire in the next few weeks, we could get absolutely destroyed by teams. Do I think that playing Wan-Bissaka as the right centre-back in the 3 could work? Yes, especially if Deloy's right wing-back. Yeah, I think it could. I think it could do. Yeah, I'm not sure they're going to try it in this game, but I think it could. Do you think we've reached an all-time low post-Fergie? Can never remember it being this bad. Not blaming all of it, I've never had less confidence. Do you know what? Yeah, I think it probably is. In terms of confidence in the team, completely lower. I mean, I think what Moyes did by coming 7th was worse, and then literally worse than where we are now under Solskjaer. But the expectations were still high then. Our expectations are grounded in the reality that we find ourselves in. No one's sitting here going, probably win the league this year or next year. Nobody. I think people are saying, might win the league in 10 years, but there's going to be a total overhaul to do that. No one's sitting here thinking that we're going to see a Premier League title again anywhere soon for United. And that's the issue, is that Moyes took over a team that were champions. We still had our name freshly on the bottom of that trophy. That's the difference. And the expectation has shifted, and it has to shift, otherwise you're completely fucking deluded. If I was to sit here today saying, yeah, I reckon we'd probably beat City in the semi-final of the Cup, definitely win the Europa League, definitely, and probably Liverpool probably a little bit far ahead of us now, but I bet we come second. You'd just be like, Steve, what the fuck are you talking about? That's absolutely not going to happen. So you have to just ground yourself in reality. No one's accepting these lower standards. It's just being real about the position that we are as a football team. You can't look at that football team and compare it to the football team that David Moyes was able to pick from. It's outrageous. I mean, just look at the strikers David Moyes had, for starters. It's not even comparable. If Inter Milan wins Serie A, so we celebrate it as if we won it. Do I honestly think we've got a chance of winning against City? I think we could win the game, but you're going to need all of our players to have a good game and for someone at City to make mistakes, which isn't impossible, but where's the evidence that that's going to happen? Greenwood's got 10 goals so far. I reckon he can get 20 this season with Rashford out. 20 is probably a little bit of a stretch, but what an incredible debut season that would be. And I know he made his debut last year, but let's be honest, this is his debut season, isn't it? Think we'll go full strength. Seems all he needs a cup. Yeah, I think he's got no choice. He has to. And I don't know if this is a gettable cup from this position. I think it's probably an easier task to go and win the FA Cup from where we are right now, seemingly. But yeah, I mean, if he was able to do the impossible and turn this around and actually get a victory against City, then I'd be pretty confident going into a final with him. Despite the fact that the final's probably in about 5 weeks, I think, something like that, and we're probably not going to have anywhere near a decent team for it, but still. Is there any way we can play the same tactics we did in the 2-1 win against City in December despite no Rashford? And do I think 3 at the back might be our best option defensively at the minute until we find a solid partner for Maguire? Well, that's why I went with a 3 at the back in this. Mostly to be press resistant and also give us options to try and play out from the back. I did pick David De Gea in my team, but just having a chat to the lads on Devils, I don't know when their preview's going out, but I would also be very, very, very happy if I saw Romero played, and I think Ollie could mention or use the cups as a way to get Romero in there for his better distribution without looking like De Gea's been dropped and causing an absolute fucking shitstorm if he did. But anyway, that's enough from me. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe. Come and join us on a watch along tomorrow. I don't think there'll be anywhere near as much rum, but hopefully we'll have a good laugh. See you in a bit. Later.